You're listening to the Cavalier Connection podcast. Here are your hosts, Jeff Lowe, Jay Ballard, and Jack Lowe.
Welcome into another edition of the Cavalier Connection podcast. I'm your host, Jack Lowe, joined as always by my dad, Jeff Lowe, and Jay Ballard, recapping the Wake Forest game tonight. How we doing tonight, fellas? Jay?
Yeah, it's always tough to talk about a loss. We hadn't had to do it in a while, but you got to take the good with the bad, I guess.
Dad?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Took the L, but I've had a few days to get over it, so all you can do is move on.
We want to remind you this episode is brought to you tonight by A Squared Pizza. Go visit the location in Charlottesville, give them a call, or visit their website at A Squared Pizza. Got some of the best deep dish Detroit style pizza in all of Charlottesville. Be sure to go order 434-465-2186. Again, that's 434-465-2186. Get your pizza. Monday Night Football is almost over already, but hey, we've got a whole nother slate coming up Saturday. The Who's travel to Duke. You can get your pizza while you watch, or even the next Sunday NFL slate. With that being said, before we dive into this loss, we got to get to our Minster's moment of the week. Some talks, it wasn't a very good game. There was a bright spot, which we will use. I just want to say the reason why we want to, the thing is we're using the same person over and over. The same key player continues to make plays over and over. But you can't help but use it. It was the only really great play that came out of the game Saturday. And not only that, I know if we waited, there'd be a couple plays in basketball tomorrow night. But we've got a whole long season to go for basketball. Let's get football at spotlight. Here's your Minster's moment of the week by, once again, a guy by the name of Cam Robinson.
One of the more dangerous returners in the conference. It's blocked. They got it. It was snuffed out and recovered at the 23-yard line by Virginia.
So once again, Cam Robinson making what we thought would be a momentum swinging play on the first drive of the game, blocking a punt. Mitchell Milton falling on top of it, and there's your Minster's moment of the week. Dad, you were there in person. I was also. That crowd was loud when that happened, right? It was a loud pop.
Oh yeah, it was exciting. I thought, and we were talking about a statement win as far as putting up a good win, and when you had won the toss, got the kickoff first, and then we block a punt. I'm like, holy cow, this is big time. And I really thought he was going to pick that up and take that one to the house. And obviously he couldn't get to it. And gosh, if he could have just picked it up and took it to the house, and maybe we're kicking a field goal there at the end to tie it, or who knows what may have happened later in the game. But I know I texted you right after he did. I'm like, good Lord, Cam Robinson's getting Minster's moment another week, because you figure like that's a play you don't see very often, and definitely not at Virginia. We've had a couple of them this year, though. So,
Jay?
Yeah, I really thought it was going to be a scoop and score. Like, it looked like the ball was bouncing nicely up. And then the way the camera angle was on television, it was hard to tell, and maybe you guys could shed some light on it. But it did look like the ball popped right up, and he just missed it, maybe. I don't know. And then I guess Melton, instead of trying to, because at that point it doesn't even hurt to try to scoop and score, because it's not like they're going to pick it up and run for the first down. So I mean, I don't know why we didn't try to continue to pick it up, and but what did it look like? I think
in the moment of a game, and that kind of a speed situation, especially you don't block a punt very often. I agree. Of course, that's what you should try to do. But at the same time, when you sack a quarterback, you're taught to, unless you're all by yourself, jump on the football, and it's just a fast-paced game. So once Cam didn't get it, I'm sure he's just in his brain, it's a lot to think about really quick, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just kind of instinct. When you see a ball on the ground, you jump on it no matter what, typically. But yeah, I mean, I hate to be the one to say this, but if we do take that all the way, we might be talking about a different game, unfortunately, because Virginia could not get in the end zone whatsoever in this game Saturday night. So I want to tee it up as this. First of all, I want to give all the credit in the world to the defense. They did everything they could. The defense had no mistakes. Not that they were playing a strong offense of Wake Forest. Wake Forest offense looked worse than Virginia's offense somehow. But the defense was outstanding. Yeah, they got drove down in the fourth quarter and burned a lot of time, but how much can you really fault them for that, in my opinion? They've battled hard all night. Eventually, they're going to give in, but hey, they've held them to 3. They didn't even give up 6 on that drive. The defense did everything they could in that game. So, defense, I have no complaints, but really, I want to talk about the offense, everything that went wrong, So let's start with that. Jay, I'll start with you. Uh, you know, couldn't couldn't score after that punt block, and then Chandler Morris is going down. What are you thinking in early stages where you see Morris go down, Kalen comes in? You can just say whatever you have to
Yeah, I
say.
mean, well, first I was kind of disgusted with the way we came out after the block punt. You don't even take a shot. I mean, you get that block punt, come out and be aggressive. Come out and try to jump on them early. If you do score a touchdown there, on that drive, again, you set the tone for the game. I mean, the way our defense deserved to win via blowout, the way they played. I mean, much less, they never should have been in a game to lose. I mean, I'm trying to remember a game, and Jeff, maybe you could help me, but because I struggled to come up with one where neither team in Scott Stadium that I've watched or been to, where neither team scored an offensive touchdown. Does that happen?
I don't recall one.
Recall?
The only game I recall, and I don't even remember where this was. Remember Virginia Tech game when it was like 3-0 in the fourth quarter? Not that long ago, probably 10 or 12 years ago. I think we had a lead.
10-3 final, I think, or 10-0 final.
One of the most ugly offensive games you could have seen
I
between
do
two
remember
teams.
that. And I don't remember how they scored their touchdown. It could have been defensive. I don't remember, or special teams. But, I mean, it was just kind of – I mean, I listen to Ball Hawks post-game podcast, and I respect him immensely, as we all three do. And he talked about Wake Forest, how strong their defense was. And maybe it's just like the name. Like when I hear Wake Forest, like I thought we would lose a game somewhere along the way, but it's hard for me to stomach that it's Wake Forest that shuts us down. It's Wake Forest that gives us our first ACC loss. I mean, it's Wake Forest who was they beat that directional school in the opener like 10-9. I know they beat SMU 2 weeks ago, but Florida State beats the doors off of them. And I don't know how that game unfolded because I didn't pay that much attention to it. I know that, it's like 42-7, but I mean, I hear what people say. Wake Forest is a good defense. I hear that. I just don't respect them. And again, that could just be arrogance on my part, but I don't respect Wake Forest. And I probably should. I mean, they definitely played well the other night, but I don't know that they played well as much as we didn't do what we needed to do offensively. We didn't block well. We put the ball on the ground 3 times. And, if you had said 10 games in, you're going to have 3 fumbles on the year, everybody would sign up for that. But when all 3 of them come in one game, it's just hard to stomach that loss in general. I'm still not really I'm not through my stages of grief yet. I'm still at anger.
But Jay, one thing about it is there are teams who are saying today the same stuff you say about Wake Forest, they're saying about Virginia.
Oh, absolutely.
What have we been the last 3 years? We haven't been anything. And and I'm with you. I'm with you on the Wake thing, but we sound a little bit like Louisville fans after Virginia went in and beat them, and we're much better than that team.
Yeah,
and I believe we're much better than Wake Forest, but and I do believe
that Louisville's better than us. I came out of that game against Louisville thinking the better team didn't win that game, but we won. You're happy. You take it.
I do believe that if Chandler Morris plays that entire game, even though that little snippet didn't look very good, I believe we win that game by 2 scores.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how quick the tide can turn. Even as bad as things were going, We were ahead 6-0.
Yeah.
And then it's not a very good punt by Daniel Sparks to start off with, a low liner, so the defense, so the special teams can't get there, and then it just hops, and he just scoops it up and he's gone.
Where were the defenders? Like where are they? They're not even in the picture for a lot of it. Like
I know.
I don't understand. You got one job. That's tackle the guy.
And we're about to
we literally went from 6-0. And I mean, granted, Wake Forest should have scored. They went for it on fourth downs, just like we went for it on fourth downs. But and let me just say this. I think football is out of control with this going for it on fourth down. Take the damn points. Sometimes. I mean, seriously, just take the points. There's nothing wrong with putting 3 on the board sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what Virginia did Saturday. They took the points 3 times. They kicked the field goal on 4th and 3 on the first possession after the block punt. The next field goal, they kicked the field goal on 4th and when we were down there at the goal, when we did that stupid play call that never works, where you do something ridiculous there, but we kicked the field goal there too at like, what were we at, the 5? Like, I don't understand that blew my mind. That play blew my mind. And then of course the one everybody's talking about that's normal is 3rd and 7. We just hand the ball off for 2 and punt.
I don't, and I didn't understand that. It worked a couple times previously, but everybody's aware now. Hey, you can't just sleep on the run now when it's 3rd and long against Virginia, because they will try to pop that run right up the gut on you and pick it up. I mean, it's I don't know if the plan there was to, if we get 3 or 4, then we'll go for it, or if we get 5 or 6, we'll go for it. But when you get stuffed, like you just can't. I mean, it's one thing if you haven't pulled that out of your hat often. Now, the flip side to that, again, I'm going to reference Ballhawk's point, was he actually is okay with it. I don't know if y'all listened to his post game, but he's okay with it because he says we are better running team than we are a passing team. And so, daggone it, if you're better at running the football, do what you're best at.
But we haven't been good at running the football for weeks.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing about this offense, and this is for Chandler Morris, Kalen, whoever it is. If you're not going to run the quarterback, this offense is not going to work. The quarterback has to keep it, on more than just once or twice a game situation. The quarterback's not needing 8 carries plus 8 to 10, 12 carries to keep the defense honest. That's what breaks the Jamari Taylor runs. Early in the year when Morris was keeping the rock more often, but it's a double-edged sword. You keep the rock, you take the hit, you get hurt. We've seen, Morris didn't even last through the Coastal Carolina game. Eric says Wake made one play and UVA didn't. We appreciate you being there for everybody, all the people that made the trip. It's just, it sucks because we know that, it's a familiar feeling. I mean, last year we were only 2-0, but the Maryland game, everybody's hyped up,
You're right.
It's just, you get hyped up and then that balloon gets burst. But obviously this year's been a whole lot better. So I don't want to, it's hard not to harp on things, but you don't understand that 3rd down play call. You definitely don't understand the one down by the goal line. I didn't really like the 4th down call there at the end. Maybe the call was fine. I don't know. Maybe I didn't like the read Kalen made to throw seemingly the ball's in the air 40 yards all the way across the field to a double coverage. There had to be something. You only needed 3 yards. I get the clock was moving and everything, but if you get the 1st down, then the clock stops for the chains to move.
I don't think he looked to And a lot of the
his
time
first
in the
read
game,
shouldn't be a 40-yard pass. I mean, the ball's in the air for 40 yards. He's throwing the ball clear across the field.
well, that's a little exaggeration, but
I
yes,
don't
know what
know.
you're saying. It's
I don't
definitely
know.
not 40 yards. It wasn't 40
Not 40
yards.
yards. But listen. So y'all made the point. If Chandler Morris is in this game, we think Virginia wins the game. I agree. But do you fault? I'm gonna ask both of you. I'll start with you, Dad. Do you fault this loss more on the fact that Danny Kalen came into the game and he couldn't step into the spotlight, or do you fault it more on Des Kitchens and the play calling?
I don't know. I think I I would have to say I have to go with Kalen, and my reason is the turnovers, the fumbles. The two fumbles were big. That's at midfield. One led to 3 points for Wake Forest. And I mean, Kalen stepped in and he did not look very good. There's so much. There's so much that you can say for on the Kalen thing and on the Des Kitchen thing, but for me, the turnovers are the biggest thing, and Kalen was the turnovers, and then Kalen was just super nervous and happy feet back there, and I think that if he has to play Saturday against Duke, I don't know if we'll win or if we'll move the ball or not. I have no clue. But I would expect it to look a little better. A full week of preparation as a starter. And I don't think Des Kitchen set him up for success with the offense that he called, but those turnovers were bad. He did not look very good other than the one run he had. And then, unfortunately, he looked back and stepped out of bounds, looking back for the defender. And he gave out of gas. But I don't know, Jay. What do you think?
I just think
I'll
that
throw it to you in a second, Jay. Really quick.
Yeah.
We don't know yet. We'll probably get a better update tomorrow morning from the press conference from Coach Elliott, and we still might not know for sure if he's going to play. He came back out onto the field, onto the sideline in street clothes, seemed to be okay, as Coach Elliott said in the press conference. That doesn't mean he's okay. I don't know the true story. So we're going to find that out for sure on game day, but we'll know a little bit more tomorrow based on what how we think Morris is doing. And also you go ahead, Jay. What are your thoughts?
so I'll say this about Chandler. My thought is, if you look at it, there's a lot of ways you can choose to look at this, and I'm going to look at it the way that I care the most about. And look, I've seen enough. We're not a legitimate playoff contender. It's not like we're going to go win a trophy this year. Even if we got in the playoffs, which would be a huge accomplishment, we're not making noise. We're not a threat to win the national championship. It would mean more to me personally and first of all, Chandler's not if it was a head injury and he didn't re-enter, that would mean he probably had at least a slight concussion. Like, I can't see you coming back, especially no matter what the injury was, though. After Duke, you have a bye week.
Yeah.
So you want to be ready for Virginia Tech, and Tony Elliott has to know that Tech game means far more than the Duke game. And I know over the course, if you're looking at aspirations for the team, you got to win Duke before you get to Virginia Tech. But I'm telling you, as a Virginia fan, and I can only speak for myself, I don't know how y'all feel, I will sacrifice the Duke game to give me the best shot possible to be healthy to win the Virginia Tech game. Because that just means more to me than, well, we played in the ACC championship and got beat by 3 touchdowns, or maybe we win the ACC championship because there's nobody that we can't beat in the ACC. That would be great. But if we win the ACC championship, first of all, we couldn't get there if we didn't beat Tech. But your best chance to beat Tech is going to be with a healthy Chandler Morris and a healthy whoever. So if you're questionable to me going into this Duke game, if you're not healthy enough to play, or if you're pushing to play, but you might re-injure yourself or you might make it worse, take the week off. Take the week off. Whatever happens at Duke happens. I cannot fathom going into an off season where we have lost to Virginia Tech again. With their season that they've had and the season that we've had, I cannot go into the off season with a loss to Virginia Tech. So I don't even care about Duke. I want to win that game, but it will mean far more to me to go into the bye week and the Virginia Tech game as healthy as possible.
It's an interesting point, and I think that's going to be a poll question we put out maybe during or maybe in the coming days, what fans would rather. Because while I agree, I think I do agree. Don't get me wrong. I agree. Forget the Duke game. I'll sacrifice the Duke loss for Virginia Tech win. But there is other fans with other aspirations where if you can get to Charlotte, that's a huge deal. And again, like you mentioned, there's not a team in the ACC Virginia cannot beat. The ACC is terrible. It's not very strong. The committee clearly sent a message. The ACC was only getting one team in, and that's going to be the truth. Unless Pitt maybe beats Notre Dame this weekend, maybe there's a slight chance you could get two teams in, whatever. I get that being a big accomplishment, but the Virginia Tech game does matter for sure. But on the flip side,
let me ask you this, Jack. If you had a choice of making the playoffs and not knowing how it ends, or losing to Virginia Tech, it's kind of it doesn't really kind of matter, because if you lose to Virginia Tech, you're not going to get into the ACC championship game. So you can't get one without the other. But if you had to make a choice on that, Jack, what would you choose?
So you're saying playoffs and a Virginia Tech loss, or Virginia Tech win and no playoffs?
Yeah, let's just say that. Or you get in the playoffs. A loss in the playoffs.
But Jay's original question is, you don't know how the playoffs are going to end.
Right. I mean, but I
think saying in your head they have a shot.
Yeah.
But let's just take this year. Take this year for an example, though, Jack.
Yeah.
You beat Virginia Tech. I mean, if you lose to Virginia Tech, but you end up in the playoff, or beat Virginia Tech and don't make the playoff.
I mean, I might sound crazy. I'm taking the Virginia Tech win, if I'm being honest with you.
I'm taking the same.
Like seriously. I mean,
we're all in agreement.
Because Virginia Tech fans, we're their Super Bowl and whatever, but it matters. Rivalry games matter, and I'm not going to take listening to these Virginia Tech fans another loss for the entire offseason, including the duration of next regular season when we're going to have to listen to them. So, I don't want to lose to Virginia Tech. With that being said, though, you still have to look in the future and see we're not far away from getting to Charlotte. I don't know if we technically control our own destiny, but we sure are close. If we win these last two games,
I think we do.
I think we do too. It's the only problem is SMU. SMU could throw a wrench in it. I think that's the only problem. We basically control our own destiny. You've got to look at what's in front of you. All you have to do is win 2 football games. That's it. And I know that's not easy.
Teams that aren't very good. Duke went on the road at UConn, and we're not talking basketball.
We're not talking
basketball. Football, which, as you know, they're too good. Duke's got a quarterback that Duke should.
Duke is. This is the thing about Duke. I've been watching Duke all year. They're one of the most inconsistent teams in the country. When they are on, they are a very scary team to play against. They've shown throughout parts of the season they can be a very strong offensive team. They can shut down on defense. But then you have games like UConn where they just fall out flat, or like Clemson. They looked incredible in the first half, but then they gave up their lead, and then they won off of a little bit of a questionable call there at the end. They're very inconsistent, and we'll preview Duke more later this week potentially. And we'll have another episode later this week. But what I'm saying is there's only 2 football games left on the schedule. You still have everything in front of you. You can still get to Charlotte and beat Virginia Tech. It's not unrealistic at all.
Hey, Jack, I got a question for you. And, Jeff, I'm going to put you on the spot, too. The only answer is yes or no.
Oh, God. I hate these.
Danny Kaelin is under center for the first snap of 2026 Virginia Cavaliers.
No. And
I think that'll happen.
Yes or no, Jack? Danny Kaelin.
I'll say no.
I said no. I said just 2 weeks ago, and this before this last game, I said I wouldn't be surprised a bit if he doesn't ever take a snap for Virginia. And of course he had to take one due to injury, but
Hunter says no. And he might. And listen, this is what the offseason is for. It's for training, getting better, and he might turn into a really good quarterback for all we know. He'll be taking starting reps, but with the way the transfer portal era
That's
is
it,
now, chances are Virginia will find another quarterback, whether it's a starter or whether it's somebody on the same level as Kalen, and he'll have to at least battle for the job. Or for all we know, Kalen could leave and go somewhere else. We don't know.
Or
It's
a kid like a
possible.
Cole Gear or Bjorn
It's possible.
Jurgensen.
It's possible.
But the thing is, and we've talked about this off the podcast, but it's like, and Jeff, you just kind of mentioned it, like, we're not going to sit back. You can't, as a Power 4 school, sit back if you want to compete with a guy that you're not sure on. Like, I think Kalen in a pro system isn't a prototypical pro system quarterback. Give him all the time in the world, give him a run game, he'll pick you apart. I really believe that. But if you're keeping Des Kitchings around for another season, which I assume that will be the case, he's not fit to run what Des wants to do. I'm not even really honestly sure what the thought was recruiting him. Not because he's not a great kid, not because he's not a great quarterback even. It's just that I don't see Kalen fitting what the offensive coordinator wants to do. So then why do you bring him in? I mean, it's just my thought, and I'm glad he's here.
It's not the play style. Des likes to run more of a pro style, and Kalen's quick. And we didn't run the read option with him as much as I think we should have, the RPOs and stuff. And by the way, UVA fan 67, is there a chance we get JKs from Cal? That's a funny comment there. And honestly, I wouldn't hate it. Jay, he don't look too bad. He doesn't look too bad. It'd be interesting.
No, he's great, but he's a pocket passer. He's not a runner either. Des is guy. I'm telling you. Look, Saturday, if I'm Des, I'm going to run the Wildcat a fairly sizable portion of that game, as long as it's working at all, for two reasons. One, I want to shorten the game. My defense is playing super well right now. I want to shorten that game, and I want to pound the rock. So the best way to do that is put somebody back there, put two options back there that you know are going to run it. And I know, if it's Waylon and if whoever it is you want to put back there, with Jakari or Jamar Taylor, you do that. But somebody, I mean, it's got to be somebody who you're willing to sacrifice that. Hey, because I know if Kalen's in there, we can't have Kalen get hurt. Then we're literally relying on a true freshman, whether it be Gear or Jurgensen. I think Gear is ahead of him on the
Jurgensen wasn't dressed out.
Yeah,
He's not dressed out
at all any game this year.
Yeah, so I mean, you're looking at Gear. I would assume though Jurgensen will dress on Saturday.
I would think so.
If Chandler's out.
Yeah.
So
UVA fan 6-7 went out. We're in the ACC championship. I think that is the case.
I believe that is the truth.
Yeah. But I'll say this, and we're going to get wrapping up here in just a few minutes. And I mentioned this in my article. Go check out the CavalierConnection.com for all your articles. Me and Jay both have a couple new ones up there now. Mine kind of discussed the downfall of this Virginia offense. And I'll say this. Throughout this season, I'll be the first to say I've defended this staff. I still defend Coach Elliott. I've defended Des a little bit. After watching that game Saturday, I'm really starting to question it. I really am. And my belief is, I hate to say this, but when you have a quarterback like Chandler Morris playing the way he was, is it maybe covering up the fact that the play calling isn't up to par or wasn't ever up to par in the first half of the season? And maybe Chandler Morris is making him look good?
I mean, there's a lot of pieces. The offensive line's not as healthy now as it was then. And if you don't have a healthy offensive line, I don't care who's calling the plays.
Listen, there's a lot of there's a lot of factors into it. That's one factor. There's been injuries all over the place. I've mentioned Dakota Twitty is a huge loss for this offense. People don't understand the 12 personnel look, having Sage Ennis and Dakota Twitty in the same formation at the same time. It's so tough. And yes, Cam Robinson for Heisman. I texted my dad that exact thing. But and Ballhawk says this all the time too. We react so much based off of results. So much. Des Kitchings looked like a genius in the first half of the season. 100%. Through the FSU game, Des Kitchings looked like a genius. Nobody was really questioning that much. I don't think maybe in the first overtime against FSU, there were some question marks, but everybody was loving it. And he did look better in the first half of the season. But now in the second half, now that we're not putting up points, it's like, this guy sucks. He's back to his former self. It's
I
going to
don't
be
think
based
it's
on
him
results.
back to his former self as much as, again, you kind of touched on it. When you've got horses and the competition was a little bit weaker at the beginning of the year. Chandler Morris is a good quarterback. We do know that. He's the best quarterback that's played under Coach Kitchings. But we have almost 4 years of a body of work. If I gave you a job for 4 years and the results were poor for 3.5, would I think you were good at your job because you did a half a year of good work?
No.
Probably not. I mean, and again, it sounds like we're kind of beating a horse when it's down, but I mean, it is
what it is. The play
it is
calling
what
has
it
not
is.
been good the last couple of games. And again, I've defended Dez throughout the first half of the season. I'll be the first to admit I was defending him, but Saturday night was almost the last straw for me because it's been bad. Some of that third down play
Almost
calling,
the
the
last straw.
formations. Seriously, like, you got to figure it out. You still have weapons on your offense. I get Chandler Morris is down, but you have to adapt to a quarterback like Kalen. You still have, while your offensive line is a lot different now than it was in week 1, you still have some strong offensive linemen in there. You have some playmakers like Terrell Harrison and Ball Edrin. You're telling me you can't figure out anything to get these guys into the end zone?
Not
You
even
gotta
the
figure
end zone. How do you not scheme up a player to where you just get some of either Ross or how do you not get them in a little bit of space? I mean, just give him a quick screen, a wide receiver screen. Give him something. Let Edrin use his body and get in. I mean, a little 5-yard hitch, turn around and catch it. Like, get these guys involved. I mean, you gotta do something. They run that mesh concept, and it works when the quarterback has time.
Mm-hmm.
But the quarterback don't have a lot of time. It takes those mesh routes a little while
I'll say this,
to open
though.
up.
They do have to make quicker decisions, I think. I think there's been times where both Kalen and Morris, Kalen had a couple times where he ran it, where I think people were open and our quarterback staring them down, but they don't throw it right away. They look deeper or they look around. I think they do need to make a better effort. But yes, you're right. Give us more time, though. You are correct.
Yeah.
On those meshes. Hey, that's going to wrap us up tonight. We'll talk more about this later this week. The Virginia plays Hampton tomorrow night in basketball. That's going to be fun and exciting. I'll be there. We have more episodes later this week as well. I'm hearing Preston Willett is going to join us Wednesday, or join me at least, and we'll see if anybody else can join us. But that'll come out either Wednesday night or Thursday at noon. So you definitely want to check that out from Who's On Podcast. Appreciate Preston for getting back to me quick and getting that lined up. Be sure to go check out the CavalierConnection.com for all of our articles. Me and Jay both have new ones up there, fresh ones. And shout out, who was it, Dad, again? Was it Garrison Barack? Was that his name that won the basket?
Yeah, I wasn't going to throw the last name out there, but yeah, Garrison.
Shout out to Garrison. Shout out to Garrison. He won our Minster's basket giveaway. He was really excited to win it. You can go see the picture online. And that's going to wrap us up. Appreciate all of you for tuning in with us tonight. And go Who's.
Go Who's.